Hello, everyone, and welcome to our very special December Style Masters live call. It is the last live call of the year, and so that's kind of crazy to think about that we're ending up in the middle. I mean, like we're ending the year already. I think it's just can't believe it. And but this is a very special one. It's our holiday one, and Gail has some really fun ideas for holiday style, inspiration, tips, all that amazing stuff, because you know how good she is with this. And then I'm going to take the reins after she's done, and of course we can answer any questions that you have for Gail on her presentation. And then I'm going to do a little something different that I haven't done before. So for current Style Master members, I am adding something that we'll be doing each month to our style notebooks, and it'll have to, and each time will be how we kind of style our body shapes in different ways and apply our colors. So I will be diving into that for us. And for all of you that are just new to this kind of live call or not necessarily style members yet, welcome. Enjoy yourself. If you have questions while we're presenting, since we do have a large amount of people on the call tonight, please put your questions in the chat. We will answer them when we have breaks in the conversation. Normally when it's a smaller group, we can allow people just to kind of unmute and interrupt, but this might get a little crazy tonight. So put your questions in the chat, and then when it's time, you can unmute yourself. Otherwise, please keep your mics muted. Just kind of reduces the background noise because we have a lot of people on the call tonight, okay? And that really is it. Gail, are you ready? Very, very good. So I'm going to spotlight you for everybody, or remove me, I guess. And she's already under control. All right, I'm going to mute myself and just shut up. So Gail, take it away, lady.
Well, I am so excited tonight, and we are going to talk about holiday glam, and nobody loves glam better than Gail. And here's the thing. We want to teach you some tips and tricks to get you out of that whole vein of thinking everybody has to wear red. Now, red is a great color, and if it looks good on you, girl, knock it out. But make sure you know you're red and you know how to create a perfect red lip. And we've got a video on that in our library, and I've talked about it a million times. So I'm not going to cover that again, so don't be afraid, because nobody wants a mussed up bunch of just red smeared all over their face. But I'm going to talk about some other things you can do besides red, because red may not be your color, and it just may not be what you want to wear. And there's so many ways to bring in a festive and holiday type feel to your makeup and your clothing without wearing red clothes. And so let's talk about some of them. And my first slide here says, and I know it may be cutting you off at the top a little bit. Whoops, wrong thing. There we go. I'm going to move this because I don't know if you can see it or not, but I'm going to move it down here at the bottom. The thing is, it doesn't have to be red. And so I want you to look at some things. These are things I have found just recently. In fact, the pink dress has been purchased by me, so get excited about that. But I want you to think outside the box. And you can save yourself a lot of money if you buy garments that will hold up throughout the holidays, but past the holidays. So like if you look at this pink dress, this is for me to wear to a wedding. And yes, I'll probably look just like that model, so just prepare yourselves for it. But this gold top, I had for many years a silver lame turtleneck, and every holiday season I whipped that out and wore it in different combinations. I'm going to show you another top that I bought that I've worn over and over. But even if you just pick something that would roll into January, February, like this turquoise colored sweater, especially for you warmer girls, you know, sometimes reds are not your best friend, but gold, turquoise colors like that are. And even if you just want to get away from red, why not pink? A little sweater that says Merry. I saw a black and white one that said ho, ho, ho. So I just want you to think outside the box and know that there's garments out there. It does not have to be a red sweater for Christmas or the 4th of July. So just get that out of the way first and show you some options there, because they're really cute and they're going to be better for your wardrobe. So next, why is my screen not going forward? There we go. Remember, if you don't look great in red, don't wear it, and choose items that can be worn another time. Those are the two big tips as far as that. Now we want to talk about your glamour and your face. Adding some shimmer is one of the fastest ways to take your look from daytime to evening or special event. You can add shimmer, which you have to remember that shimmers and frost are different things. They're made up with different particles. So we have mattes that have no reflection whatsoever. We have creams that have a little bit of light reflection just by nature of them being moist. Then we have shimmers. They are the lightest of light reflecting. They're the softest of light reflecting. They're made up of different size shaped particles, and they have multifaceted sides and multicolored. They do not get in fine lines and turn up on their edge like a true what we call a frosted shade or a glitter or metallic shade. Glitters and metallics are the harshest to wear. They are the true all-out gold flake kind of look. They are two-dimensional and one color. And that's why those particles make us look more aged sometimes, because they can get in a fine line, an imperfection, and get up on their side and make that look less youthful and smooth, let's say that. Another tip is this is the time to whip out those lashes. Regular mascara, excuse me, and regular just lashes will never hold up like false lashes will, especially if you have a long day, a long evening, you're already tired, it's the end of the day, or you're going to be sweating or running around. Like I've just come from a dinner, and my lashes they're the only thing still holding up at the end of this long day are my lashes. So adding lashes can be a great choice for special events. And then I want you to think about going a little bolder with your color. Now, does that mean paint up like a clown? Absolutely not. That just means we're going to work on some things. So I'm going to show you some tips right now and some ideas. Let me make myself big, pin myself. So the first thing I'm going to do when it's a special event is make sure my foundation is on point. So that means extra foundation. This is not a time to wear your little BB cream or your little powder. This is the time to get out your good liquid and start with a beautiful, I'm sorry, there's just a hair there. Okay. A flawless canvas that you're going to start with. Then I've got on my regular eye makeup that I just threw on today, and I just want to show you what you might do to add a few little things. If you're in the warm category, all our warm girls, whether you're bright, soft, deep, a warm eye shadow look with red lipstick, a warm lipstick is just gorgeous. You do not need to go jet black. In fact, you can put in some colors like gold. If I just show you this in fact, let me do that on one side so you can see it. And I'll do my other on the other side. If I were to just come in here and add some gold, that's it. Just look what that does. And you mix that, because that warmth, if you put on a red lipstick with that, that's going to tie in. Now, don't forget your little tear duct there. But that, as you turn in the light in the evening, is just going to take it from everyday to spectacular. Now, for you cool girls, I want to introduce you to a more of a silvery, shimmery, kind of icy look, including pink lipstick. Now, we're not going to go all the way into the super icy shades, but I'm going to pick out like a deep gray color, a neutral brown, and I'm just going to come in here in my corner, wherever your accent area is, and I'm just going to deepen this a little bit. So this is saying I've come in from work, everything's good, I've got to get to the party. Always blend, 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 blend. Blending is our friend. But just adding a little bit of that deeper color. That's not my right blending. No wonder this is the blender. And this could be a dark brown, a black, a gray, a navy, a green, a plum. But if we're going with a pink lip, I wouldn't introduce a ton of color on my eyes. But you see how that automatically just made this more dramatic. Just adding one little color right over our other contour shade. Now, I'm cool, so I'm going to come in with a cool shade on my tear duct when I find that brush again.
Hey, Gail. So that
Yeah.
darker eyeshadow that you just applied for that drama, is that necessarily just for cool girls, or is that people who have like higher contrast about them, or none of the above? Like
Yes,
you
no,
wouldn't put that
maybe.
on me, right? You wouldn't do that on.
No, it would be a color that's appropriately darker for you.
I
So
see.
we would just move probably one level into your zone. And when I work with clients, those are my clients that are on hello, thank you, love you. They work with palettes like this. So they have their complete complement and they know where to go to the mid-tone shade, to the deeper shade. So, and if you, yes, some of you may notice I have warm and cool in my palette, but I'm a pro and I can do that. But I'm going to take a shimmery champagne color that has a little pink in it. And that's going to be the color I come in with right here versus the gold. And you can see again, it's just lighting it up, but it looks a little different. And that right there is enough when you get your lashes on. But now if you want to go a little more dramatic, this is the time to whip out a liquid and go all the way black. I don't have on black today, I have on brown. But if I just lay this on its side, it's one thing I love about the Mary Kay pen. You can just lay it on your side and darken a little bit up next to your lashes. It doesn't have to be a tail. But just doing that, do you see how much more drama that gave me? Just laying it on its side and letting it do like you're printing or stamping right along my lashes. Makes them look thicker, more interesting. Now, another thing you might want to add that you're not doing every day, because I know some of you, is highlighter. Highlighter is beautiful in lights. And so I'm going to take and make sure I do a highlighter on the top of my cheek. I'm going to do a little bit right here, unless I'm going to be in flash photography. If you're going to be in flash photography or ring light, you don't want to do too much on these, really center places, but you can hit the bottom of your nose right there and your little Cupid's bow. Now, if you see that, just a little bit. Now, I've already put on my balm, my primer, a liner, and a lipstick, but I want to show you how you can take pink lipsticks to a festive look. This is Sheer Illusion. It's a very iridescent, shimmery gloss. And when I add this to the pink, I get into that snow-capped, icy cool look. And for those of you who are hanging out in cool territory, that can be a very pretty holiday look that is not red. Now, of course, I can wear the deep reds, but sometimes, especially with something like what I've got on, this is black with little silver beads. I've got a silver little shimmery necklace on. I love that cool icy pink with it. And if you compare to that, I think this looks all very coordinated versus on this side with the warmth. If I want to go deeper, I would add a little bit of brown, either a shimmer or something like hot fudge. I would probably do a peach on my lips, and then I would do a bright warm red here. So you've got options, but I just want you to know it doesn't always have to be red. And you can take a few products and take your everyday look into the holiday glamour. The don'ts are, don't just go home and draw black circles around your eyes and think that fixes everything. It does not. Or just automatically reach for your red lipstick and extra blush and think you've created a holiday look. It's really about this beautiful shimmers. You can see my lips. That looks very snowy and festive. The shimmer on my cheeks, a little more drama here, and you're good to go. And I promised I would show you another piece I had bought years ago. One of my friends is on and she's going to say, Lord, I've seen that rag 100 times. But it was an off-shoulder sequin top. I didn't pay much for this at all, but I have worn this spring, fall, summer, and Christmas for all kind of things. So when you look for pieces and just grab them, especially in January, with a little shimmer, with a little sparkle, with a little rhinestone, not only are you going to get to wear it more, but here today's fashion climate, You can put a blazer over this and wear this with jeans and be totally on trend. So that's all I have, Jen. Back to you, and I'll be happy to answer questions now or at the end.
I'm so excited. I want to comment on a couple of things, and if anybody has any questions for Gail, please put them in the chat. I love the current trends right now, because where before wearing a sequin top or anything sparkly was only for the holidays, and Gail is absolutely right that there's sequins are everywhere, and I can absolutely just see a sequin top with just jeans and even like street sneakers, or even like some really nice, depending on your feet, right? Not everyone can wear heels, and just even a sweater or a blazer, and you're good to go. And it's the thing is, you don't have to have a party to get dressed up. Like, I don't think we have any parties this year that we're going to, but I always like to be able to have something that adds a little shimmer, just like when I go wine tasting and stuff, because it's fun. Like, it's just fun to get dressed up. Like, I think it's fun to get dressed up. But everyone's saying amazing demonstration on those eyes. And yes, Gail, I think every time you do that, I have 100 more questions for you on that, but that's just technical stuff. I do. You brought up a bunch of stuff about you've already set yourself up before you do your demonstration. Well, in January, when we kick off the new year, I think we're doing basics and getting everybody kind of warmed up for all the more technical things as we go through the year. What are we doing for makeup and beauty in January? Do you remember? I'm putting you on the spot. Are we doing basics, or do you remember? It's okay if you don't remember.
Since we only talk about this 12 hours a week, while you're talking, I will go look at my
I just want to give the group an idea of what we're doing.
Test? Are you testing me?
No,
okay.
I'm not testing you.
Now we'll find the Jen bags.
The whole group that's new. That's going to be new to Style Masters this year, and I just wanted to give them a little teaser. But if you don't remember, it's okay.
Okay. No, I'm getting it right now. Don't you dare.
Okay, I'm sorry. Get the spreadsheet. Nope. Get the spreadsheet, Gail. Stat.
There's a spreadsheet for it. There's a spreadsheet for it.
I drive Gail literally nuts, because I'm like, oh, hey, I updated our spreadsheet. She's like, oh, good.
Another spreadsheet?
So
okay. We're going to be talking about beauty basics for color types and warm and cool makeup. And in general, we're going to be talking about mistakes that are made in the different categories of color and just generalized misunderstandings, because every color type has some misunderstandings. Like, you bright, cool, deep girls, y'all think you just got to wear Bordeaux lipstick or the world's coming to an end. Just you're over there in that grape and that burgundy trying to make those lips look like slits. And that can be a trick. And so we're going to talk about color in general and how you hang out in your palettes. And we're going to be doing this ongoing. This is what I love about our Style Masters. And y'all, we've got the content planned out through June. You just got to get there. But it's going to be how you use these colors and going more into that, because you've been handed this sheet of colors, but I know some of you are like, now what? Well, we're going to bring the now what. And so in beauty, we're going to talk about some general tips, warm versus cool. And I know for some of you, just seeing a color is warm or cool is challenging. And in the beauty world, there's some things that come into play beyond what you see on that page, like what's the pigment in your lips? Because I know y'all love a lipstick chart, but those can be very, very deceiving, because it's all about how that lip's going to look on you. And we have to get really creative sometimes if you have a lot of pigment or you have an absence of pigment. So this is where we're going to go deep into all these things. It's going to be something that grows but is cyclical. And it's where you really get that intimate time with both Jen and I to ask everything you really want to ask from the professionals. Not that all the advice you get in the group is not amazing and wonderful, but it is a little conflicting sometimes, you may have noticed.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you for that update.
Okay. Back to you, Jen, in the home office.
No, I'm super excited, because the whole point of this is to bring in color type specific tips and advice and inspiration, which we didn't really get the chance to do last year. And as we come up with our lessons and our tutorials, you'll have style notebook pages that you can just print out just what's relevant. So if 80% of it's like, that's not me, but this is, I can now add this to my style notebook, and it adds on to your collection of reference materials as you evolve in your style. So really, really excited about that. Yeah, you'll be excited, the customized notebook. So I'm going to switch gears now for us. If you guys don't have questions, and if you do, and you think of some, just put them in the chat and we will get to those, regardless of who they're for. And I'm going to now spotlight me taking over. It's my show. And I'm going to pull up my presentation. So what I'm going to share with you this evening is something that is going to kind of combine some color, some style, and some body shape. So this is something that we really haven't done before. And I promise I will not bore you to tears with technicalities, but you will get a sneak peek into some of your pages that you're getting for your style notebook. And if you haven't noticed, your style notebook pages for December are already posted in the content area. So all you have to do is just go over to the Style Masters library on the website, go to yourcolorstyle.com, go up the top, go to Style Masters and hit the library. And you should probably see it right away because it's brand new. I just posted it this morning, and it'll say Style Notebook, and it'll have all the things I'm going to be sharing with you right now. And then I will get Gail's presentation and tips and put those into a page for you as well that we can put in there, just so you have it in case you want it. Some like top bulleted tips from her. Okay. Deb says her style notebook is 3 inches thick. Okay. Well, as long as it's usable, as long as you can use it, I think that's super fun. All right, so just like Gail had said, red is not the only color, although ironically, I was wearing a bright red sweater earlier today. I thought I was going to wear that, but then I got this cutie patootie Amazon green jacket in the mail today. And this is one of the trending colors of the season. Literally, this color is absolutely everywhere. And so I thought I'd wear this instead with my cami that we're going to talk about right now. So let me share my screen with you and we will do this. All right, so we are going to talk about how to style a camisole. Basically this shape here. There are many, many different styles of camis. We're going to talk about this style in particular because every single neckline will do a different effect. We cannot get into all of that this evening. That's just overload. I found this style because this is a very common style, and it can be very flattering on most body shapes. And even if it's not the ideal shape for you, style for you, I should say, for your shape, there are ways that you can make it work. So this is great for the holidays, in my opinion, because I run hot. I love a shimmery or even a sparkly camisole that I can wear just with jeans or nicer pants or leather pants even. And if I'm hot, I can take off my outer layer, or if it's cold or walking around, I can put a layer on. And I'm all for that because I run hot and cold constantly. Don't you love midlife? So, so this is one of my favorite things to style, and I think it's very versatile and everyone can absolutely wear this. It comes in every color you can possibly imagine, literally. So you don't need to go sparkly if you want to try this style for every day, kind of like what I'm wearing now, even though there's a little shimmer here. But I actually also, I forgot to bring it out of my closet. I also actually have a red sparkly one that I wore with leather pants on the cruise ship that I just went on recently because they have Scarlet Night. And instead of wearing a dress, I thought this would be super fun. So I had the sparkly camisole and leather pants, and it was a little edgy, and it's really fun sometimes to dress a little different than what you normally do, because when you have a special occasion, because why not? It's like wearing a costume almost. It's like just, you know, come out of your comfort, your little comfort shell and do something fun. So you can get any color you want. We're looking at the style that has the spaghetti straps, has a wide V-neck, and drapes. Now, one of the reasons that I like this style for most body shapes is that the spaghetti straps will widen your shoulders. Now, if it's out of proportion for you, if you're a larger lady up on top, or you have or you're just happen to be a little bit more top heavy, you might want to get a little bit of a wider strap so you're a little bit more in proportion. But we can adjust that by the layers that you wear over your camisole. Okay, but it otherwise it gives a nice attention to the upper half. It widens things, and for a lot of us ladies who have a lot of extra weight on our bottom half, this is a great balancer for your shape. If you're someone that doesn't really have a lot of curves, you're a little bit more even Steven, or even a little bit rounder in the center, I'm going to show you some silhouettes that you can make this work and then still like knock it out of the park. Okay, so let's first talk about, we're going to talk about color, but let's first just talk a little bit about shape. So we're going to talk a little bit about shape and a little bit about color, shape and color all the way through. Okay. So the first shape is pear shape. I chose this one because it is probably the most common shape for ladies. We happen to be a little smaller up on top. You can be a full shape and have a larger bosom, but typically most of your weight's going to be in your hips and your thighs. So that's not a bad thing. This is going to be, our conversations all year are going to be around what do we want to enhance and what do we want to minimize and what do we love about our body. It's not that, oh, you have a big butt. No, that's not it at all. It's how do we create balance? And that's all it is. Where do you want to draw your attention and where do you want to create balance? So these are really, without talking about personal style, just basic silhouettes to create balance. And you can, if you know nothing else about how to dress, you can use these. You can print the ones you want off and put them into your notebook, and then you can, and I'll show you some examples. So since your spaghetti straps widens your shoulders, a boxy look up top to the waist for someone that is bottom heavy is a great look. Anything kind of boxy, crop jackets, blouse, tucking your blousey tops into high-waisted pants. And then you want that nice balance at the bottom with either a flat front, straight leg pants, or maybe even some boot cuts. Notice that the blouses are tucked in. You don't need to always leave your tops untucked. That actually adds volume to you. If you have a waist, even if you have a tummy, if you have a waist, show off that waist, tuck in that blouse, let your shoulders shine, wear a really bright or sparkly top up on top, and you're going to look like $1,000,000. I have a couple examples for you on silhouettes, and then we're going to talk about color at the exact same time. So notice that I've tucked it in here with a very thin belt. The pear shapes don't need a whole lot of attention to your waist because you already have a waist. And then here, if you start getting cold and you really need a little extra, or you're feeling a little naked, you can wear a crop jacket, crop cardigan. You can even wear a long cardigan if you want, or even a cute like crop leather jacket or something like that would be super fun too. This is when your personal style starts to come into play. These are just silhouettes. So just like I showed you, I found screenshots of as best I can, including myself, to show you these examples. So here is the same cami into nice wide leg flat pants, which is this one right here in action. Now she's a model and she's probably 6'5". Hey, if you're that tall, that's great, but you're probably going to be a little shorter, but it's still going to be a very flattering look. You can also pull out that leather. So for the holidays, the sparkle, the leather, the combination is fantastic. You can wear that with ankle boots, knee-high boots, or even street sneakers and have a really, really fun look. Keep the top lighter and brighter than the bottom. That does not necessarily mean you have to wear black. A lot of women who think they want to minimize their curves because they feel like they might be a little too big or whatever, go and default to black as their bottom half. That is not what you need to do. And especially for ladies like me who are not a high contrast individual, wearing black with something light isn't always going to go with everything that I have. Just make sure that your top half is just a little brighter and a little lighter than the bottom. It doesn't have to be dramatic. Okay, so notice like over here, I've got my little cami and jeans. There's not that much of a difference in the value, except that it's just a little brighter up on top. And I have a cropped cardigan here. This is a cute cropped blazer, so it's a little bit of a dressier look with structured shoulders. And then if you are feeling like you really want a little bit more coverage, you can just wear a nice, long, very straight and simple cardigan. Make sure it lands about halfway around your middle of your thigh. And then with color, as I said, it doesn't need to be dramatically different in contrast, unless that's your color type. If your color type needs the contrast, well, then by all means, you can do the white with the black, or a pink right? The bright pink with the dark below. You don't have to do white and black, and you don't have to, you can just measure out your contrast. I chose these two because, well, the both styles are actually very figure flattering, but notice like for us warm girls, this is a beautiful golden, very shimmery top, and you can pair it with just a little bit darker velvet, or even this Amazon green, right? For something a little bit different, not red. I specifically did not choose red because Gail wanted to make a point. So I wanted to make sure I honored that it's not all about wearing red. But there is a lot of green out right now and a lot of gold and velvet. So it's perfect. And there's another really good example, by the way, of the little crop jacket. But notice this is a very dark jacket up on top, which is going to shrink you. Okay, so it's a great look for her. But you might want to find a jacket that's brighter or has a fun pattern to it, or a shimmer to it. Okay. Okay, the next would be an apple shape. And I don't want to, hope you guys don't feel like I'm generalizing the body shapes. They're just very general shapes. I know that everyone is very unique. So you're going to take what means something to you and stick it into your file. And if it doesn't mean a lot to you, or you need some variations, well, that's what the whole Facebook group and live calls are about as we go on through the year. If you have something that you're not really working for your body, we can always work with that. An apple shaped lady is going to be fuller on top, have a fuller middle, but have really beautiful, great shaped legs. And it's a great way to show off those legs by lengthening the bottom half. One way to wear this camisole, because it's not the easy thing to wear, and I don't always love to style women with a stomach with long silhouettes. That's one way to do it. You could find a camisole that drapes down below the hips. That is absolutely one way you can wear it if you can find that style. Another way, though, if you can't get that length, but you can get the fullness to cover what you want to cover, it's going to really enhance your bosom, and so you're going to want to put some jewelry there and show off what you've got. And then you can wear a nice high-waisted, wide band, flat, like flowy pants, and it makes sure that the waist is going to be up where it's a little the most narrow for you, which is going to be close to underneath your bust. That line between your bust and your tummy can be really important for your shape, instead of just being a block of fabric. You don't always need that. And if you need a little extra coverage as well, a nice single breasted blazer that lands a little bit below the hips is a great look. I actually found, by the way, I styled these and then I was looking for examples. Maybe I should do the other way around next time, because it was a little challenging to find what I was looking for. But I actually found this photo here, and it's exactly what was in my head. She's got on the camisole. She's got the high-waisted pants right here that it goes right, a nice wide band right underneath her bust, a little bit there. And then she's sporting that single breasted blazer over it. Now this is a spring look, obviously, but I think it looks really, really sharp. Over here, I want you to not be afraid of pattern. Pattern doesn't necessarily add volume. It can, but if you're talking about a confusing pattern that's in your color palette, a little bit of lower contrast, so you're not vibrating everywhere, can actually be extremely flattering and much more interesting than just wearing flat color blocks. Okay, so every time that we talk about color, it's so easy to imagine flat color blocks, but don't forget about pattern. There's nothing wrong about pattern. Just imagine if it's something like this, where it's kind of swirly and confusing, and if your eye can't identify where it ends and begins, that's actually perfect. The more confusing, the more flattering and wearable it is. It's the same for any body type, by the way, not just apple or a curvy girl. This is true for anybody. We will go into patterns specifically, the contrast and placement of pattern later on in the year and during Style Masters, but just in general, I don't want you to just shy away from pattern, even if we give you examples of solids. You can also, by the way, wear a nice long cardigan if a blazer isn't your style, to warm you up. Okay, and the last one, because I'm not going to go into every single nuance of a body shape, I'm just picking the key ones here for now. This is for the rectangle, and a rectangle can be anything from someone that's very lean, that doesn't have really many curves. They can be very small on top and in their hips and a very non-waist, if you will. And you can also be a little fuller as well. Sometimes people assume rectangles don't have shape, but they do have some shape. But overall, you're very balanced all the way through. And so getting some curves into your silhouette is always a nice thing. And so, by the way, if you ever wonder how to dress a rectangle shape, if you have one, which is kind of a boyish shape or a very athletic shape, if you have that, just look at any catalog online with the models, because they dress their models, whether like rectangles or like inverted triangles. You have to really look to figure out and dissect what they're wearing to make sure it's right for you, because what they're wearing does not fit the majority of us ladies. It's just they got a lot of volume and fabric and layers and looks amazing until you actually go put it on. Over here, we've got, and you'll notice that same cami, by the way, but we don't really want, we want to show off the waist. We want to create a waist really for someone that is a little bit straighter. We want to create that waist. And the best way to do that is not to over define the waist, but to really kind of let you peek in on it. So a front tuck in this case is a lot more flattering with a really nice, beautiful belt. The belt matters. The belt matters. It defines the waist. You want it to be darker than what you're wearing because you want that contrast between the tops and the bottoms in that belt to really narrow in on that. That's going to help define the waist. And then you're going to add volume at the bottom and the top. Lucky ladies that can just add volume wherever you want, because that's what you want, those curves to show through. The top's already given you those curves, so you want to add a little bit more extra volume on the bottom so you don't appear top heavy. Here you've got some nice joggers, which joggers are great. You can, and right now they're available in like leather and beautiful fabrics, velvet. I saw some velvet cargo joggers recently. They're out there for the holiday season. Anything that's pleated and wide leg and full volume is going to look fantastic belted like that. And I have an example for that. And again, if you are feeling a little naked with the bare shoulders, or the top's not really landed exactly right and it feels a little awkward, multiple layers of horizontal lines is going to be great, which means a nice straight long cardigan with a nice beautiful belt around the whole thing. Not a little wimpy belt, a nice belt that goes around the whole thing. It's going to give you that waist. It's going to give you volume up top and bottom, and it's going to look fantastic. So now let's talk about color. In this case, in my opinion, I would not try to make one darker or lighter than the other. That's not what would be the goal here. The goal here would actually be you want to have a balanced volume on top and bottom. That can be a monochromatic, pink on pink. It can be simple like cream on cream or dark on dark. It doesn't have to be, it doesn't have to be just black. It could be whatever color you want, especially if you're doing something for a special occasion. It can be all the green like this. It can be really, really fun. It can also be a pattern if you want, or you can just balance the values. So you've got a brighter top, but maybe you've got pattern bottoms. And anything that's going to add that visual volume, and bright and light are going to add volume, and patterns are going to add volume. Dark going to recede, right? And we don't want to have an imbalance there for that. So I wrote this in here to not only show you monochromatic, it's not a very dressy look. She's super cute in her little baggy pants, and that would be this silhouette right here. Then for something that's belted with pleats and full volume, and that belt, here's the bottom half of an outfit that kind of demonstrates that. And look, it's the nice full volume leather pant. I've been seeing that everywhere. Really great for the holidays, but honestly, really great for every day. It's like the new jean for the season. And then I know this is dramatic and I apologize, but I could not for the life of me find a belted long cardigan that I liked out in all the examples out on the webs. Everyone's wearing these really skinny belts that don't make them look a little sloppy. I'm talking like a nice solid structure, fills that waist with dark, and then a nice beautiful cardigan that flows over. So imagine she's wearing her cami and some beautiful, pleated pants, gorgeous. And then I didn't forget about hourglass. Hourglass are individuals who are basically very balanced on top and bottom. In many cases, you can follow the rules of the pear shape, but there are still styles that really are much better for an hourglass because you really want to keep the shape. You're not trying to really minimize or necessarily enhance because everything is so beautifully balanced. You just want to keep enhancing that figure. And so to keep things simple, not too long-winded for this evening, I did find this outfit here, which I think is beautiful. Same top, tucked in, just like a pear shape would tuck in, but notice that it's a slim pant that kind of tapers down to the ankle because you're following that curve of that hip all the way down. You want to keep those curves. You're not really trying to straighten things out or anything like that. And so that is how you dress a cami. Now, the last thing that I don't have examples for, because I think it's something that's more exploratory and not just wear this, is your style comes into play. So you have an idea of the types of colors that go on the tops or the bottoms and patterns, but really at this point, to make it your own, it would be choose a silhouette that resonates with you and then add your own flair, add the colors that you like that flatter your color type, and then add your jewelry the way that you want to add it. So if you want attention to the top half of you, you can wear bold necklaces, right? If you want attention to the bottom half of you, you can wear buckled boots and ankle bracelets and fun shoes. So there's a lot that you can do that brings out your personality, that takes what you're looking here into a whole different direction. That's the kind of stuff we'll be evolving throughout and talking about throughout the year. See a lot of,
Can I add something to that last look, the pink?
Yeah.
I wanted to notice that there's a sheen to that fabric, and that's something else that makes it look festive and holiday-ish. These, so even if you're a girl that, I'm not a sequin, I'm not a glitter girl, choose a fabric that has a sheen to it, a satin, and these rich fabrics like velour and velvet. They're really hot right now and they're everywhere. So if you just say, in my heart of hearts, I'm not a sequin girl, we still love you, but there are other options out there.
Do we have any questions for me or anything that I can answer?
They're asking a lot about bras, and I answered some questions, but the goal is not for the girls to be jiggling and dangling around. Now, if you're have had yours adjusted, augmented, or you're 12, of course you can let them fly. But if yours, are a little pendulous, you're going to want some support. And we talked about, you might want to cover for them the difference in a strapless and a long line strapless. Because if you're trying to cover your bulges on your belly too, a long line can be a great option.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm wearing with this because I wasn't too sure if I was going to take off my jacket this evening. But yeah, a teenager will walk around and show off their broad straps. We're not teenagers. And so you could argue with me and say, I like my bra strap showing, and that's totally fine. But if you're going to do that, make sure the bra strap is worthy seen, like it's color or something. I don't know, just don't. So strapless, if you can do it, they're not the most comfortable. I think I've cycled through about 10 different types of strapless. I'm small, so I can get away with a lot more than some of the ladies that really need a little bit more support. So,
but they are out there.
Yeah.
Even if you're large, even if you're more mature and the breasts are a little more pendulous or a little more fleshy. And if I have an online bra fitter, if you need one, and they will tell you they are experts on bra fitting, there are certain bras that are going to be right for you. They are not at Victoria's Secret or Target, though, I'll tell you that.
The other thing too is that, if straps are really necessary because it's just not enough, then there's wider strap versions of this. I could have done an entire 2 hours on the different styles of camisoles that you can find for yourself, but you can definitely find some that have a little bit of a wider strap. It's going to be a little bit more in proportion anyway with your larger chest, and then your bra strap is a little bit more concealed so that you can actually lift up, because you want to be up with this kind of a top. If you've got cleavage, you want to be able to show it off. That's kind of the point. It's a really sexy, beautiful look. I don't have cleavage. I got nothing, so I can't talk to you about it.
Girls are bouncing around like basketballs. We got to keep them under control. There's no way I'm going without injured. But, I have worn a regular bra. Now, I've done two things. I've worn my regular bra and tucked the straps in, especially on a one shoulder garment. because it was just a little tucky here, and I loved having a strap on that one side. So if it's a 1/9, you don't want to invest in a great strapless, you can do that. It can be a little bulky right here depending on your bra. But I've also committed to the topper piece. I'm going to wear this jacket or sweater, and no matter, unless I'm in an ambulance, it's not coming off because you'll see my bra strap. So if you know, especially if you're cold natured, you're not taking that third piece off, don't worry about it. Wear your regular bra. Now, we've got some questions. If you're an apple, will you always be an apple or one day be a square? Same with pear. Will you one day be an hourglass? Now, Jen's going to take that, but weight loss does come into play here.
Yeah. So we can all be a general shape and then lean one way or the other, depending on where we are in our life, as well as our weight. So anyone that is an apple, it usually means you've got an extra weight, mostly in the stomach and chest, not necessarily as much in the hips and thighs. That's why it's kind of they always draw the picture of this with the circle around you. So in that case, yes, if your weight doesn't change or it goes up, you're going to always be that shape. But if you lose a lot of weight, like Gail just mentioned, if you lose a lot of weight, you're unlikely going to have a waist, but you'll be more rectangular in that your body is always going to probably naturally put weight on in the middle. That's just your genetics. That's just the way it is. My daughter is an apple, so she puts all the weight in right here and no waist. So
and these are not bad labels. Like you can
no. Yeah.
What they're looking for is usually a 4-inch difference between, like, say, your shoulders and your hips. If your hips are 4 inches bigger, then you could probably be called pear shaped. It can be very subtle. And right. If you look at yourself in the mirror, you don't have to do a lot of fancy measurements. Ask yourself what you see. Which parts look bigger, and just know that there are anomalies. Like I have a client right now who is an apple shape, but she is a different apple shape. She does not have large breasts, but she has a large back. And so her back and shoulders still give her almost what I call the barrel shape. It's that bigger in the middle, which is another word for the apple. So there's going to be anomalies. You're not going to fit one of these like a glove necessarily. And that's okay. What you're looking for is generalities. What part of me looks bigger or smaller in proportion to my other parts?
Right.
And that's where the weight loss comes in, because it's a matter of proportion. It's not if you're small or big, it's how those measurements play up against each other.
Yeah. Also, like for me personally, you would categorize me as a pear. However, as I've gotten older, the weight now comes onto my stomach way more than it used to be. It doesn't make me an apple, but it does give me a little bit of different style challenges because I don't like that. And then when I had lost quite a bit of weight for a while, and the weight comes onto I've actually lost a lot of my figure. I was a little bit more straight. I still would style myself as a pear, but I didn't feel like I needed to necessarily minimize anything. I was trying to figure out ways to enhance. Some of the language that we're going to work on this year is not really what's my body shape. It's going to be, I really want to enhance this part of me. I want to minimize this, and I want to create balance. And that might be a combination of body types. It might be that technically—
We have that question. Can a person be a combination, apple plus black hips? Yes.
Yes.
An apple still has good points. Absolutely. An apple shape, they're going to have banging arms and legs usually. So they can wear a little mini skirt, even though they're a little bigger. Get that skirt up above those knees, you apple shaped little honeys, because you got the heads.
Yeah, I've styled my daughter for years. She's excellent at styling her body types. She always gets compliments because she knows exactly what to wear, and she has confidence because of it too. She knows she doesn't have the perfect hourglass, but she owns what she's got, and she looks great. So yeah, none of this is bad. It's just trying to figure out how you getting clothes on you that balance your body and shape that you feel good about. So you're not feeling like things are too baggy or they're too tight, or you're walking around trying to hiking up your jeans all the time because you thought you were supposed to be a certain size or whatever it is. It's about owning your style and feeling good walking out the door.
Deb said, I'm unsure about shorter skirt being over 65 though. Girl,
Leggings, stockings, right?
bet you got some great, if you're in apple shape, you most likely have nice thin legs. But if you're not comfortable with that, just right to the top of the kneecap is one of the most flattering points. Just maybe 1 inch above the kneecap. There's very few people that doesn't look good on. But what I find is women, as we age, we think it needs to be that midi length, and that is not great on many people.
I'll make sure for sure.
Then somebody also, can we answer a makeup question? There was a question.
Yeah, absolutely. I didn't see that.
It was about lip liner, and they've never worn a lip liner. Oh, yes. We need some lip liner up in here. Lip liner is your friend as we age, because as we age, our lips can lose pigment. And as our skin sags and rolls down, you'll notice your lips will start to kind of curve inward, making you look like you have less lip. And as they lose pigment, it can be a little bit patchy too. So you may notice that the outer perimeter of your lip, and that has a name, is not as even as it used to be. And lip liner can fix all that. We can draw them on there just the way we want them. So she's asking about color. What is in vogue right now? What we're seeing is not necessarily a lip liner that just matches the lipstick exactly. What we're usually looking for is something that provides a little bit of depth and shadow. So if you look closely right there, you can see it. See that little bit of depth right there that's just on the edge of my lip? And let me tell y'all, from the pictures in the group, I'm just going to come out and say it. Y'all need to claim your lip real estate. Some of y'all are missing half your lips, and then we go and pay for things to plump them up. You've got lip. It's all the way down to that ridge right there. So go right on it or just a little underneath it with a shade that's slightly darker and to the neutral side. So I will tell you my favorite lip liners with red are a warm neutral, like almost a red that has like a little touch of chocolate to it. It's like a warm brown.
You gave it
That with red is just, are you okay, Jen? What?
Yeah, you gave it to me. I have it.
It's so pretty because this gives it that red, that shadowy edge. Now, I chose a plummy colored liner to go with this pink, but let me tell y'all, I am an incredibly high contrast level. Most of y'all will not wear the outrageous colors you see me wear, the extremes. So I have to go to extremes. But for most of you, just a nude, a soft pink, brownish pink nude. Even if you are cool, a brownish pink liner is your friend. And if you're wearing warm shades or you're a warm girl, look for a deeper nude. And I can help you with any of those and make recommendations. But the idea is that we're expanding your natural lip color. So we're going to draw more off the color of your lips and your overall coloring than we are the color of the lipstick. That needs to come first. And the most beautiful makeups are driven by your natural coloring and your natural features rather than a look just being slapped on your face. And again, things will develop in Color Masters. We're going to get in the depth of it, baby.
No, I was excited because the way you described it, you sent me my lip liner, and then the red that you sent me is that softer, and I love it because I put it on and then I put my lip gloss over it, because you gave me two different kinds, and I love my lips.
I like to say red needs a fence around it.
Yeah,
it just does. Or a red looks like it's going all over your face. It really needs that boundary, and it will also it makes a red look like it's not taking over your face when it has that edge to it. So that's a great tip anytime you're wearing super bold lip colors, is to give them that shadowy edge. Like, this is a bold pink. I mean, this is a pink if you saw it in the tube. But see how that shadowy edge, everything looks under control. Nothing looks like it's about to run off my face.
Yeah.
And if you notice too, only put the gloss right in the middle, because gloss expands. And if you put it side to side, it'll be ear to ear by the time you get done eating. A little in the middle, you dab it, it catches the light right there. And that makes that, it gives you that visual deception of your lips being more curved. So what else we got? Yes, Pat, experiment away. It all wipes off. No one dies. What other questions do we have? Let's see.
Everyone's just feeling happy tonight. We're talking about Celeste like piped in saying even Hourglass isn't perfect. She has her challenges as well. And I had just commented the grass is always greener. You
That's right.
all think something's a little better, but everybody has their shape, and it's all beautiful.
Wouldn't it be a boring world if we all look the same?
Yeah.
I think it's funny that Jen and I are like the yin and yang of color style. Got warm light.
We're like the complete opposite. However, we're also very similar, which is why we'll get on the call with each other. And what was 5 minutes turns into 2 hours. Yeah.
But we're doing it for y'all. Y'all, we're so excited. I want to know who of you is excited. Because we want to know you're excited, and we want you to invite your friends. I know you want to look better than your friends. You don't want to know all the secrets, but invite your friends to Style Masters. We want this to be a community where you also are learning from each other and enjoying each other. Maybe I'll just go ahead and tell y'all, I'm probably speaking on turn, Jen will kill me tomorrow, but like the vision for the future of this are live retreats and events where we would get to see you. So we want you to come in and make friends, so you'll have somebody to share a room with when it comes that time, because that's in the future. Somebody said, do you teach on Kibbe? I don't know what Kibbe is.
It must be what those kids are all talking about these days. No, I don't know what Kibbe is, but I'm sure it's another instructor. I'm sorry, I'm losing my mind. I thought I had water.
We need one more platform, but Jen, I want you to talk a little bit about the streamlining of this, but also Kathy said she's intimidated actually with allergies, wear little makeup and prefer light and natural. That is great, Kathy. You can do light and natural. The secret here is that you are going to have the most perfect light and natural look for you. And what looks natural on me would look like prostitute makeup on Jen. So it's all about you finding your, what we say, color style, whether it's makeup or clothing. Yes, Mary Jo, can you just see it now? The fun will commence in person. So Jen, you're streamlining things from all these platforms as we work together. You want to touch on that a little bit so
let's talk about that, since we have a huge group here. And as we all know, for all of those that you've been with me for years, you know that my best intentions sometimes causes a lot of confusion. So I just want to apologize for that now. I had moved our VIP, our membership, over to Teachable because it included the courses, and I thought that would be great. But what I didn't think through was the amount of content that was going to go into the membership, and you can't search for it. It's really easy to lose your place and figure out. It just started to become a little bit more of a hot mess. So once again, I'm trying to streamline, which I know causes a little bit of temporary confusion, and I'm very sorry for that, but we're going to leave Teachable behind, and we're going to bring everything back over to the main site. So on yourcolorstyle.com, it will be there. And that's why I've been asking all of you to use your coupon code to kind of sign up for it again free, because you need an account on your color style to get access to everything. Eventually, not right away, nobody panic. I'm not going to just suddenly turn off Teachable, because that will cause all kinds of confusion and chaos. But behind the scenes, you're not getting charged anymore. If you started your account on yourcolorstyle.com, then this conversation actually has nothing to do with you. I don't want you to get confused that you have to do something else. But for the most part, most of you have already kind of moved your way over to the main site. I've heard the feedback. Things get confusing really, really fast when we have a lot of content. So Gail and I have put together an agenda for each month that is simpler. It's smaller bites that touch on different components that wrap together, versus lots of content that's so heavy that it's so easy to fall behind and feel overwhelmed, and then you don't really know how to apply it. So the whole point is to give you enough where you can actually pull together an outfit by the end of the month using your new tips and strategies, and it's just enough for you to digest and practice and play with. And then we layer on after that. And each month we'll be doing something obviously different, right? We'll focus maybe a little bit more on makeup this month, a little bit more on color that month, and our shape and all that kind of stuff. And you will build up your notebook over the year, so that by the end of the year, you should have a nice, just a nice definition of who you are, because we're going to be doing a little bit of mindset stuff, personal development stuff. We've been there too. You're going to get to really know who you are and really accept who you are. That's really important for me, for you guys to know that. It's not, even if I said to you, oh, you must wear bright colors, you will be fabulous. But if that is not your personality and you would much rather wear neutrals with just little bits of color here and there, that's you. That's your personality. I want all those things to be okay. And so we'll be working on some of that too. That'd be kind of fun.
Okay, we got some questions. So, will there be live calls with makeovers like we do in the VIP color analysis calls? There are definitely live calls. You want to talk about that?
Each month we will have our monthly live call. We're going to have it in the first week of each month. I will put the schedule out as soon as Gail and I decide on what the date actually is going to be, and we'll be consistent about it each month. We're going to do it at the top of the month because we're going to introduce everything you're going to be learning and being able to work on throughout the month. The VIP color analysis calls are discontinued. The color analyses takes up a phenomenal amount of my time, and it's really taken away from my certified consultants. And so they will be the ones that are going to be doing the services as they should. And I'm going to be focusing on going beyond color analysis. You really need to know your color type, or have a really good idea what your color type is coming in to Style Masters, because that was just the the gateway, the key to get into all the other fun stuff that we're going to be doing. And it was muddying the waters a little bit, and also taking up a lot of my time away from the content that I want to provide you. So we won't be doing that anymore. But I will add this. One of the things that we would like to add to our live calls is some style reviews. So each month, when you guys are playing and practicing the things that you're learning, and you post outfits into the group, we will collect, if you want us to, by the way. If you don't, we won't, but we will collect 1 or 2 outfits and then give feedback on that. So we will give some style guidance and feedback so that everybody in the group learns, and you can go, and that person who ever posted it can go and make any adjustments that they want to, kind of a thing. So that will be obviously you can volunteer, and based on what the curriculum, the agenda is for that call, we'll pick 1 or 2 to help teach the concepts and stuff. So we will be doing that, but it won't be a dedicated call. Okay.
So here, I want to make sure this comes across clear, because sometimes I feel like I see things the way some of you guys do, because I was new to the platform too. And so what this is going to mean is, instead of month after month, you just sitting through color analysis calls that you may not care about, like say that person is nothing like you and there's no value unless you're becoming a color stylist, to sit through that. It's going to mean more content that is specific to you and that helps you. Now, we will still discuss color. Like, if someone wants to submit a style and we say, really, that's not your green, that's reading too warm, or with this combination is coming across too warm. So the color content's going to be there. It's just going to be better. So this is what I want to really make sure you guys understand. You are not losing anything. You are gaining a lot. Like when we looked at this, we're like, this should be a lot more charge. We've lost our minds. Another question though was, can you summarize how we'll know we're reaching all content for sure? And also, will I keep my courses you've purchased? You're not losing anything, right, Jen?
That's right. The courses you've purchased on Colorful You on the Teachable platform, Teachable is not going away. Teachable is not going away, and anything that you've purchased is exactly as it is. In fact, at some point in the magical universe of the future, when everything in Style Masters is cleanly on the main site, everyone's happy, the courses will still live on Teachable. So when there's new courses that are produced and created, and there will be this year, there will be new courses. Some will be included in Style Masters, some won't. Those will still be out on Teachable, and the content that I feel is very relevant to Style Masters, I'm going to be pulling into Style Masters, because you get the benefit of that. So I'm going to try to avoid having you jump, oh, that content's over in this course, over in that chapter. I really don't want that for you guys anymore. So if I create a course, I'm like, this is perfect for you guys, I'm still going to add it into your library. Okay. And it'll be filterable and sortable and searchable, so you can find it, the content that's for you. That's the whole point. It's not about a whole collection of courses. I don't think that's been very successful. So we're going to do something a little different this year and see how it goes. And feedback is always welcome, by the way. I do listen to everything you guys say, and I do the best I can to see if I can fix it. Okay.
I think too, understanding that the way we're going to set up the schedule, that like, even if you said, I don't care anything about makeup, that's only going to be a small portion of each month. Some of it will be covered, some beauty and style each month. But that way you're not going to come upon months that you say, I just don't care about anything this month. We've changed that. So there's always going to be something of value for you in every single month, hopefully at least 3 out of the 4 weeks of the month. And it's going to be a cylinder, what they call spherical type teaching. I know I keep saying that, but I was a homeschool mom. And that means you cover a topic, you come back later and you cover it again and add to it, and you come back later and you cover it again and add to it, rather than mastery. Even though we are mastering this, it's not going to be like we talk about this month and never talk about it again. It's not going to be like that. It's going to be swirling and constantly building, growing, going deeper, adding to, recovering in a different way. Because even when we cover some of these topics, Jen will cover them one way and I'll cover them a different way. So we'll be rotating teachers around, and we're even looking at bringing in some special guest teachers. But here's the thing, the bigger the group grows, the more people, friends you bring in, the more of you that are involved, the more we can give you as far as content, and the better of a deal it is for you. Because when you take a large group of people, we can bring in all kind of resources, and you're only paying a tiny little fraction of the cost of that resource for what we brought to you.
Truth. Thank you, Gail. Aren't you glad she's here with us? I mean, I'm so grateful for you, Gail.
I don't know. There's another Picks and Passes coming. Some of y'all maybe coming to my house because I'm stepping on toes again.
Awesome. Well, ladies, we are past the top of the hour, so we are wrapping up. Is there any other questions that I can share with you? Or questions I could share that we can answer for you before we wrap it up? And you know where to find us. You can find us in the private Facebook group to ask questions. Or you can always just email support, and they always get those messages to me. Okay. So please don't feel that just we go away once this camera gets turned
And
off.
if you're a member of Style Masters and you are not in the Style Masters Facebook group, that is the special inner circle intimate group. So you may be in the big group, your color, style, whatever it's called, but there is a separate Facebook group if you are a paid member of Style Masters. So you get more and better over there. So just make sure you're in that one.
Yep. Okay. Gail, thank you so much. Thank you everyone for joining. It's so much fun to see so many faces. I love it. Love it so much. So
we're going to have so much fun.
We are going to have a blast next year. It is a goodbye for now, at least as far as our live.
Wait, tell me about the bonuses.
Oh,
the
bonuses. I think
I'm so excited about the bonuses.
So the people who sign up between now and the 15th, and obviously all the current members, we have the color type specific call in January. There are 4 total, one for bright and warm, bright and cool, soft and warm, and soft and cool. And in those calls, it's dedicated just to you. They're going to be probably a good hour and a half, just like we do now. And any questions you have, if you're feeling in between, or you're feeling like, oh, you keep saying I'm bright, Jen, but I just really prefer soft colors. What does that mean? How do I do that? And just really kind of addressing some of the misunderstandings, some of the color types. Gail's going to focus a little bit on some of the makeup faux pas that happen with certain color types. We make assumptions and we get all excited and we turn out to look a little off. And so we're going to dive into that kind of stuff. And those are going to be 4 special exclusive calls in January. Maybe we'll do it again in 6 months or something, but it's like we're gonna start off the year really strong so everyone feels solid in their colors.
You know, the other value to that is you're going to see who else is your style. And then you can become friends and buddies and share tips
Friends.
and share products and share things tips that you've learned and how you've worked through your color style. So y'all,
We should get like, pink lady jackets. And then when we see each other, we can, no.
all the cool girls.
I know, we'll have the
cool ladies.
BWs versus the SCs. Be like, we should do something like that, like a little
Rule.
game
We
or
should
something.
have
I
some
don't
tea.
know.
Cool's rule. No, really. All the colors are amazing. And we hope you're going to discover that about and when we have that time with just you and your group, we can talk about how amazing your color palette is and what things make it special in a way that we can't talk to the whole group because it's so mixed up. So get in now, invite your friends in now, go back and tell all the millions of people in the big group that they got to get over here to get the really good stuff and hang out with us. Are we not all the cool kids? All you guys here?
I know, right? Please. Now listen, someone just said swag. Mary Jo said swag. Thank you very much, Mary Jo. So Gail has been all talking to me about like, what kind of swag can we create for you guys? So if you have ideas, let's like send them to us because there's a little bit of a process deciding on what swag we're going to produce and create and, how we're going to offer it. And is it going to be prizes? Is it going to be for sale? I don't really know how that's all going to fall together, but it would be great to know what you guys think would be fun to sport around and wear. So let it all share away, right?
Yep, all the ideas. So
all the ideas.
We expect all of y'all. Who on here is not in it already? Just kind of raise your hand. Is anybody on this call?
I recognize most of the people here. So
there's my friend Martha. I want to say hi to my friend Martha. She's new in our little circle of YCS. So
excellent. Welcome, Martha.
She's my warm bestie. I do hang out with warm people, so it's okay.
And Joanne is not in yet. That's okay. But I hope you do. So anybody who's brand new, just go to yourcolorstyle.com/VIP or go find the Style Masters menu at the top and you'll find your way over there.
Well, Janice said I suggested in-person conference months ago. And
I know.
I want to share this if you don't mind me, one little thing.
Go ahead, Gail.
Jen has been carrying this by herself. And there's only so much one person can do, even with some of her team. Her team are not co-creators with her, the ones she has people that do little things. But as we grow this, I mean, we're really growing the company and the brand, and we're now going to be able to move into a space with all of your help and support that we can do things like that, Janice, because there's no way Jen could have taken on planning an event. No, she was always creating content and doing color analyses, but things that be changing, and everything Jen's wanted to do, all her dreams and visions, they're rolling forward this year. It's happening, and we're excited.
As well as creating weird art. So that too.
She does that when she
that's nothing to do. Although all the silhouettes that are in your pages, I drew. So
Gail will not be drawing anything except lips. Okay, just to be clear. I look at my friend Martha. I love Gail's lip.
I had to do a little art in there. I had to. So they're all like pencil sketches, and they might change their appearance each month because I need variety. So
So onward and upward, get in, get registered now, get the bonuses. You don't want to miss it. You're going to be don't be saying, I wish I had it. So, but Merry Christmas, everybody. Love you all.
Merry Christmas, happy holidays, happy Hanukkah, all those things.
New Year, all the things. See you soon.
See you guys online. Bye for now. Love you, ladies. Bye.